Well, Ezra, first of all, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I read your sister has a column, and I actually read a few of her posts.
Oh yeah.
Is there one that you particularly like?
I like when she does. Well, I've noticed on her blog sometimes the most popular ones are these very simple ones, but I like the ones that are more complicated. And once she had one that I thought was funny that was about meeting. If she'd meet a guy in New York, how likely was it that she'd go home with him? And it was all about the distance to his apartment, and it's like, well, if he lived in downtown, he just has to be a cool guy. And then it's like, well, if he lives, whatever, and 80 blocks away, he has to be like this and that. And it was like, and if he lives, whatever, in the Bronx, he has to be like Ryan Gosling or something. So I like, especially because I've always liked little funny charts like that. So I like the really detailed ones.
Is it something, how is it to read your sister posting about that kind of subjects? You get used to it?
It's we're different in that regard. That when I talk about relationships or something in songs, it's usually very shrouded with metaphors and references. So I'll admit that it's not exactly my style, and it can make me feel a little bit uncomfortable at times. But I do really admire that she's figured out this kind of unique voice to express herself with. And it was my idea. I told her to start a Tumblr. She told me she was going to start a zine, and I said, you got to put it on Tumblr.
Okay, so a little credit for you there.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I was wondering, are you actually, you only two siblings, or there's more involved?
Yeah, it's just the two of us.
Yeah, is there maybe one thing that maybe she writes about it that you maybe also, that you share with her that you write about in your material as well? In a different way maybe then, but...
Well, I think, our mom is a therapist. So growing up, there's always a lot of talk about feelings and how do people's families affect the way that they interact, and how does your family and your background affect a relationship. My mom sees a lot of couples. That's kind of her specialty. Mm-hmm. So I think both my sister and I probably developed a little bit of an interest in kind of psychotherapy and maybe a bit of sociology. And I think growing up, my mom would always want to talk to me about it, like how I felt and my relationships and stuff, and I'd always be a little, maybe because I'm a boy and I'm the older one, I'd always be a little bit like, oh, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And my sister, my mom would have be more chatty about it. But despite that difference, I definitely think we're both, that kind of instilled in us an interest in the way that interactions between people and relationships work. But then, like I was saying before, our approach is very different.
But do you think that maybe now it benefits you in a certain way? Maybe the thing that your mom used to do at home, that you get some benefit from it in writing your own material in a way?
I'm sure. I mean, definitely. I mean, it's hard to be too specific. It's all like guessing, but I can definitely say that both of my parents really, neither one of them really worked in the arts. My dad works on movies, but he does stuff like actually build the sets. So he's around that type of stuff, but his job is not exactly like the creative side of it. And my mom's a therapist, so that even though neither one of them were professional artists, they definitely would surround us with art, and had a great record collection and books and stuff. So certainly I think that environment always made me kind of interested in whatever storytelling and being a kind of creative person.
Does your mom read your lyrics?
Yes, in fact, she always asks for me to send them to her ahead of time, but I usually say no.
Why does she ask you?
She just, I don't know, I guess she's a big reader. She loves to just like go over things. But
has she drawn conclusions from one of your already sent or made lyrics?
She's definitely likes to do her own analysis, but she knows that when it comes to lyrics, as much as I love writing lyrics, sometimes, especially with people I'm close with, I don't always want to talk about them. Mm-hmm. So when she starts asking me too many questions, I get very uptight.